Ho, ho, hoes! Merry Christmas, one and all. This is Spitball Media Podcast. Welcome back to our holiday episode. Merry Christmas to everyone and a Happy New Year. But we will be back next week on our regularly scheduled program. My name is John Draper. Shah, Merry Christmas to you, Shaheen.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, whatever else is going on. There's like
Of course.
15 different ones, so
Yes.
let's
there's many
check off
holidays.
all the lists.
Yes, happy holidays. Of course, B-Show, happy holidays to you in the good old great state of Ohio.
You guys as well. It's feeling holly and jolly over here. Me and my big burly orange shirt, construction worker looking wearing ass.
I like it. It looks like you just got off pulling a double on the highway.
Yeah, especially with the beard too. I grew it out
Yes.
because I'm on vacation. Ish.
Nice. Oh, you're off? That's great. I'm off.
Well,
till Tuesday,
I'm
but-
off, and as I was told by my boss, well, you really don't get time off, right? I was like, "Fuck you."
Oh, what a
Almost
what a
pulled a
wonderful world
Griswold.
we live in. Oh, you were
I
sold to
know.
Clark W. Did you get
Almost
did you get your Jelly of the Month Club certificate yet?
I did. He knew that being a chunky guy as myself, that he could lessen the blow and hedge his resistance to his bad news. No, I'm doing all right, man.
Well, listen, thank you everybody for checking us out. We are Spitball Media Podcast. We're a weekly entertainment podcast where we spit out the top stuff, the top stories in the media landscape for the week. And we're wrapping up the end of the year. But before we get on to all the fun stuff, we just want to thank you for checking us out on the free. And of course, you should consider going to patreon.com/Spitball Media because, Shah, that's where all of the really good gift giving takes place, doesn't it?
$5 a month, man. Name a better gift for $5. Can't get shit for $5.
Like 5 scratch offs.
How much is Kool-Aid now? Kool-Aid's probably like $3 or some shit a packet.
It's probably about $3. I don't know.
Right?
Scratch offs. You get $5, get like 5 scratch offs, right?
Yeah.
It's a great bargain. You get thousands of hours of really exclusive content, bonus shows, theme shows, solo shows, extended topics from the regular shows. B-Show, it kind of has it all in that one little spot over there, doesn't it?
It does. It's like Nathan on the new South Park episode that we'll talk about, just but
Nathan.
a lot cheaper. $5
Yeah.
will get you the entire bag instead of paying $600 for an empty bottle.
Oh, wow, B-Sir, really? I love Nathan. That's what Chris Jericho looked like the first year of AEW. By the way, that was one of my biggest tweets of all time, actually. But you really want to consider going over there. We've got tons of stuff for you. Theme shows, like I said, we have exclusive content, things that you've never heard before, and there's a great bunch of people who've been keeping the lights on this place for years, isn't there, Shah?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, and I actually want to shout out John Krauser and Dirk. They got some commissions, and they've been day one supporters, I believe.
Yes, very big supporters of the show for sure. And of course, how can we forget, Shah? What about all the lovely people, a lot of them from the Patreon, hanging out in the chat right now?
Yeah, shout out to Joe Punches too. He got something done recently. A lot of the people that listen support my personal business. So I just want to shout them out too.
Well, Shah,
for the end of the year.
That's a great point. Why don't we? You know what? There's still time left if you wanted to even get some gifts. There's still probably a little bit of time left to maybe sign up for some gifts. You know what I'm saying? If the people want to get some personal artwork, where should they go?
Yeah, just hit me up on Instagram, planet.mondo, or you could email me, nuclearheatgraphics@gmail.com. If you want to get some personal gift, some customized shit, definitely hit me up. You got another 2 or 3 days, so
yeah, get crack-a-lacking on that. And of course, B-Show, who's hanging out with us in the old Chatterooski room?
People from all different time zones. It's pretty awesome to see. Gary Thorpe, Joe Punches, Chris Matthews, Jarek Braxton, Emmanuel Rojas. Let's see who else. Slave Cheeks.
Yeah, I see
Jarek Braxton. He said it's like 3:30 in the morning. I don't know where he's at.
Oh my God, Jarek, where the hell are you? It's 8:37 for Mr. Punches.
Would that be UK?
Yeah, I know Gary Thorpe's in Ireland. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that because when I was
everybody pulling all nighters to hang out with us, man.
Well, listen, thank you guys for chilling the F out with us. And of course, happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate, we hope you enjoy it and you're having a good time with it. And please consider in the new year, if you haven't already, going over to patreon.com/Spitball Media, $5 a month. And we're so happy to have you here with us tonight. And of course, Merry Christmas. And next week we'll be on a regular show, but we're going to bang out for you Patreon people, a little program note. We're going to be, you'll probably get a double dose next week. You'll get your last Patreon show of the year. And, Tonight is really the night before the big push for the holiday weekend. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of stuff we want to get to, but first and foremost, because it did just open today, something I think we all have an interest in. A lot of people follow the show have an interest in. I'm talking about the release of the long-awaited, probably incredibly sad but true story of the Von Erich family. I'm talking about the Iron Claw opened today. It did open today this afternoon. It's got a pretty big release. I see a lot of press for it. I see a lot of good press for it. I think Drew Yari went and saw it already. I'm purposely staying away from any people talking directly about it. I bought me and my one of my kids are going to see it tomorrow. And Shah, this is kind of a big deal. I mean, like this is probably something that we thought would always happen, like we would make a good movie, but it's real, it's out there, and it's got some big names to it, and it's getting good reviews.
Yeah, it's really weird, man. I'm caught in between Napoleon, which is not getting the best reviews, Poor Things, and this. So I'm kind of lost where I'm gonna end up this week. But I definitely want to check one movie out at least this week.
And of course, Shah, is Poor Things an A24 movie?
No, it's not. It should be
Okay.
though. It looks like it.
Looks like an A24. A24 is the studio released for the Iron Claw movie. I'm not that familiar with the director, but it stars Zac Efron and Jeremy Allen White, the hunky, tiny man from The Bear. And it also stars Moira Tierney, who has been on ER, and she plays the mom. And Colt McElhaney, he's been in a lot of things. He was on a great show. He was on the David Fincher show, Mindhunters. B show. Obviously, this is this is going to be a tough watch, but I'm sure you're going to be looking to check it out as well.
Yeah, man. I went to see Godzilla this weekend and I
We'll
sat
discuss.
down. So I'm walking in, two quick things. I'm walking in and I see the poster and I just kind of like smiled. It's just cool to see something
Yeah,
like we hear about the Hulk Hogan story or the Vince McMahon story that they want to make, but to see Iron Claw and the story of the Von Erichs on a poster in the local theaters is amazing. The press tour is working because there was an older couple, probably in their 60s, and the wife is going, "Honey, do you know what this is?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's some kickboxing show." And she's like, "No, it's this family in Texas, and it's tragic, and it's true, and it's wrestling." And like she's talking him into it, and I'm like, "Holy shit, Grandma!" So that was
that's
cool.
interesting.
And
Now,
then I'm sitting down in the theater, and as I've seen the trailer,
yeah,
but the trailer comes on with Working Man, and then at the very end, Don't Fear the Reaper. I fucking
yeah,
start bawling when I
wow.
saw the funeral procession. Like I not
Yeah,
weeping, but
there was
just like,
David's. I think it's David's funeral.
yeah, it
Yeah,
it got me, man. And I
yeah.
was like, I cannot wait to see this, but it's gonna
I
be
can't
a
wait.
tough
I
watch.
have my tickets bought. I was supposed to go with two kids. Only one of them's going with me tomorrow. I'm excited, and it's getting great reviews. I'm curious to see how it does. I just want to ask you guys real quick. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it because we haven't seen it yet. Shah, do you think maybe releasing this Christmas weekend wasn't the best idea?
Well, I was just gonna mention all the movies that I want to see. None of them have happy endings. Nothing is like celebratory, really. I mean, you
No.
have Poor Things, which is like fucking weird, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's
just
weird.
surrealism. Napoleon, depressing. This one, I mean, come on. Especially during wintertime when people have like seasonal depression, this is probably the worst movie you want to see. But I'm super excited for it. And shout out to Anthony Alston. I know he went to see it today. So
Oh, he did.
yeah.
Yeah, I know Drucifer went and saw it. But Bisho, do you think maybe releasing it in Christmas weekend, if it doesn't do well, do you think that might have something to do with it? Because you got hot people in it, literally, like Zac Efron and Jeremy Allen White are very popular men with women in particular, younger people. And of course, it's an A24 movie. There's a lot of brand loyalty there. But Christmas weekend for the Von Erich movie, Bisho?
Yeah, maybe they figured that like it's a niche thing anyway. So if people are gonna go see it, they're gonna go see it.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm hearing some people talk about it, like I mentioned, the old couple walking into
Yeah.
the theater. So obviously they're getting through to somebody, but no, I agree. The darkest time of year, like physically darkest time of year, and a big time for people's depression to be spiking. Probably
Yeah.
not a good family tragedy movie.
No, probably not. But again, I don't know what we're going to see. I heard it's 2 hours and 15 minutes, by the way, guys, which makes sense. This is a very dense story. I don't know how deep it goes. we're gonna hold off on talking about it anymore. But I want to give a shout out to Joe Punch's daughter, Tatum. Tatum, why are you still up? Tatum needs to go to sleep, Joe. Tatum, I know Santa is not showing. I know what this looks like, but this is not Santa. But shout out to Tatum. And of course, a lot of people are off now, so it's exciting. But there's a lot of big entertainment news. But before we get into all that, B-Show, before all that, I want to rehash with you guys a little bit the top 5 horror films from last week. Now, I want to mention today, it's Thursday, Necromaniacs, my brother Mike's show with Mike and Jeff, the other Mike, Mike Hill, and then Jeff from ISIS there. Not the terrorist organization, the band. They released their top 6 today. They did a 666 of horror, which I thought was so fucking dope. But B-Show, I got to put you on the old hot seat because B-Show this week went and saw a little film. Not that many people have seen it or heard of it. It's an art house movie. It's an Asian import called Godzilla Minus One. B-Show, spill the beans.
The hype is fucking real.
Told
okay. And I might have just been emo that day, but like I cried at the end of fucking Godzilla 2. It is a very emotional movie. I think you tweeted about it, or maybe you said it last week. It's an amazing movie that happens to have a giant lizard creature in it.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It blows away anything, like any American attempt at Godzilla. It's just a fantastic story, very tragic, and it's really cool. The only thing I'll give away, it's not anything about the story, but it's essentially this, as you mentioned last week, it's a suicide bomber who kind of cheats fate and fakes a malfunction.
He's too cowardly to kill himself.
Right, and then the threat of Godzilla is essentially fate coming for him, and it's like a classic horror movie.
It's amazing.
You can't outrun your fate. You got to face it, and it's families involved, and like it's so fucking deep. It is amazing.
B-Show, were you expecting it to be that layered as far as messaging?
No,
war, big government, family, taking care of people. Like, did you expect a Godzilla movie to make you feel like that?
No, not at all. It almost
Crazy,
reminded me of, it was like Rick and Morty when they get done in that one episode, they just start crying in the car.
Oh,
it's like that's how I felt afterward.
Isn't that how the originals were though? The classics?
Yeah, but they were done with people in a rubber suit shot, so it kind of
right. But I mean, the message though, they were like serious.
Yeah, it was they were very honestly. Look at this. We're gonna sound like assholes, but Godzilla movies were very progressive as far as messaging went. They were anti-war. They were pro-peace. They were anti-nuclear war. They were anti-pollution. They were, there were some racism messages in there about anti-racism. And unfortunately, Shah, they were being done by a guy in a rubber suit, and this is a little bit more heavy because it's got a bigger budget. And by the way, B-Show, how about the acting in this fucking movie? Ridiculous, right?
Fantastic.
Oh, unbelievable.
There was one point in the movie, I don't think this is giving anything away, but like he won't let himself close to anybody, and he takes in the woman and the kid.
Oh,
and then his buddies, his compatriots are like, how dare you? Why didn't you marry this woman, or why don't you marry her? And he pretty much won't let himself because he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
And that he says, my war is not over. And then like that comes back into play later on. It is so fantastic. Just now, everything he tackled.
I'm just going to ask you a couple quick questions. First and foremost, if you saw it a month ago, is it your favorite horror film of the year?
Oh yeah. Favorite movie of the year, period.
Favorite movie of the year?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. Now let me ask you another question. Were you surprised with how good it looked?
Yes. The effects. There's a couple points where you could tell it was a $10 million movie.
The train shit.
That was even good too, but like some of the creature at times you could tell but it was cool. And the thing that I really liked about it, I might have tweeted about this, is its eyes. There's something about just the black eyes of the modern Godzilla movies that like there's no connection there. But there's a point when Godzilla stares right into the fucking screen, and the eyes have like a sign of life in it. And it's
how about where he gives you that first nuclear blast in the city?
Yes, I remember. I sat back, and there was only like 6 couples in the theater. I sat back and I was just like, oh
Yeah, I did a lot of that. Oh shit, Shah, you
Yeah.
got to see this movie, man. You're gonna. I'm telling you, you're gonna end up getting the steal. I can't wait. When they talk physical release, I'm sure you're gonna be all over it.
Yeah, I'm shameful to admit that I've actually never seen any of the classics. Only one I've seen is the one from 1998. I think it was
Oh,
Godzilla
what a piece of
2000.
shit that is. Yeah,
Yeah, I heard that's what I hear. I heard that's like the
it's a
worst
piece of
one.
shit.
Aside from the modern ones, I guess I saw the one from a couple years ago, and then I saw Godzilla and
Okay.
Kong.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
as far as the classics from the 60s and I haven't seen any of the
yeah.
kaiju films.
Yeah. I think honestly, I think if you saw this, you would be saying the exact same thing that Bishop's saying. As I said, it's just everyone who's seen it feels like because you just don't feel like this is like you just like it's probably just cool and like whatever, and then you get sucked in because the story is so good and the acting is so good. That's what it is. It's like it's heavy. It's a heavy like this is a. And by the way, Bishop, I thought Godzilla when he was smaller looked the best when he was the smaller regional Godzilla. Dare I say?
Yeah, there was points when he was walking through the city where it was kind of static and slow.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you a question on this.
Mm.
How did you feel the first time you heard bum bum bum
Bip,
bum
bip,
bum
bip.
bum?
Oh yeah. No, like, and the ding. I'm like, oh
Mhm.
shit.
Yeah.
This is the best looking Godzilla of all time, by the way. I think it's the best looking Godzilla. And I like when he hulks up. I love when he
Oh
hulks up.
yeah.
By the way, that we don't want to get, I mean, look, a lot of people have seen it, but that scene, the pivotal scene at the end, when you don't, where it's, they're going to try to stop him and it goes quiet. Remember, there's no sound for that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, was that like some tension in the movie? That was tense, dude. Like
Yes.
there was tension in that. What did you think of his regeneration powers? I thought it was
I
cool.
thought that was awesome.
Good idea.
Because again, I picked up early on that Godzilla kind of represented his fate, and you can't outrun your destiny and your fate.
Yeah.
Fate's going to catch up with you.
Yeah.
So as that kept happening, I was like, "Oh fuck, how is this going to go?"
Mhm.
Oh, it was just
La-
a fun ride, man.
Last question, B show. Were you surprised it wasn't anti-American more? I mean, when you look and see, like, I mean, we kind of really destroyed the fucking country. I mean, they
Yeah,
deserve. Look, the government did this to them, but look, you saw. I mean, what we did. I'm fairly certain that there's probably strong feelings there that we killed a lot of people. And when I say we, I'm speaking of the government of the United States during World War II. You
yeah.
know,
Now that you say it, it is kind of odd. I didn't think about it at the time because it comes into play a few times, and they
a
just
few
kind of
times.
brush it off.
Yeah.
But like, there's one point where they're like, "No, the Americans aren't coming because of the Russians. They're afraid
Yeah.
for any action." And
Yeah.
then at the end, there's like a rah-rah of like, "Hey, Japan, the government's not going to help us. America's not
I
going to
like
help
that.
us.
Yeah, it was
We
cool.
need to do this." So, other than that, you're right. There really wasn't much anti-American sentiment, which was kind
Yeah.
of strange.
Yeah,
But
Shah,
I
like
think
when you see
it
the
was cool.
movie, you're gonna like in the first 5 minutes, you're gonna be like, oh, they're gonna take a big shit on the United States here. Because you see like what the devastation of the bombs were. But like it's really they take more of a shit on their own government for not helping people afterwards. And then they use Godzilla basically as the catalyst to take another shit on their own government. So
Do
Shah
you think that was
basically no good. I'm sorry, what?
do you think that was done purposely
Oh,
to kind of like
100%. It was
what, for
100%.
just marketing purposes?
No, to take a shit on the fact that the government after Nagasaki and excuse me, was
Iwo
Nagasaki
Jima?
what was the first bomb? The first bomb, Hiroshima and then
Hiroshima.
Nagasaki.
Yeah. Sorry.
So basically the government didn't like do anything. Like they're just like, sucks. United States leveled us. Oh well, here's some soup. Like they didn't do anything. It took them like a long time to kind of rebuild. But people were like, "What are you doing to help us?" Like, we're like, "Well, we can't do anything militarily because we're not allowed to have a military anymore because the United States
No.
banned them from having an army afterwards."
Right.
From
No,
having
no, no.
an-
What I was saying is, do you think they were purposely leaving America out of it?
No, oh no, I
So,
don't think so at all. I just think, I mean, it's a fully on Japanese movie. There is English in the movie and there's English
right.
scenes in the movie, but they don't take a shit on America at all. Like it's kind of like, yeah, we want to help you, but we can't. Basically, they soft blame us for creating Godzilla from using nuclear weapons, and then they soft blame us for not helping against Godzilla, right, Bisha? That's
Gotcha.
kind of like
Yeah, and it's more about how the Japanese government
government.
abandoned them.
The
So,
government
and
abandoned
there's
them.
even points too where like they want to warn whatever city it was, Tokyo, or there was another one.
Yeah, there was a city that Godzilla levels. He kills
Yeah,
40,000, 30,000.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
Jesus.
the Japanese government, the military won't warn everybody. So
Yeah.
like It would be almost like a post 9/11 movie where a bunch of farmers that crop dust want to go fight against like renegade terrorists or something, but they can't because the American government says you can't fly a plane or something.
Yeah, Shah, it's
It's not
basically
like these
Japanese World War II Red Dawn. Like that's what it is. It's
with a little
like,
Jaws mixed in too. That was pretty cool.
yeah, like
I do
there's
wanna
no
see it,
military.
though. Like I'm interested in it.
No,
Which
you're gonna. I think you're
again,
gonna like it.
I'm a casual, Godzilla fan. Like I've only seen like one or two movies from the series, but I don't know. I did watch the trailer, the scene with him coming out of the water.
The water.
Like
Oh,
that
God.
fucking sold me on it.
Oh God.
And I see Joe
When do you
punches a
see-
scene.
Shah, where do
Hold
you
on.
see where he chases the boat? Where he chases the boat in the water? You're gonna be like, holy shit, that looks real.
Yeah, Joe Punches is saying that there's going to be a black and white version in
Yes.
Japan.
Yeah, in Japan. I don't think we're getting it. I don't think it's coming here. But this wasn't supposed to do this here. This was supposed to be gone in a week, and now it's up to 70 million. And it is a bona fide hit. And it's getting nominated for Best Foreign Language Film at the Golden Globes.
Congratulations.
Oh my God, dude. It's getting nominated for Golden Globe Best Foreign Language Movie, Godzilla.
I wish they would nominate for music too, because like before the credits
Oh.
were over, I was trying to find the vinyl of the soundtrack and I couldn't find it anywhere unless it was
Yeah,
like
you
250
you can
bucks on
download. You
eBay.
can download the soundtrack's available to download.
Oh, okay.
Shah, you got to hear the way they rebooted the OG music and threw it in there. Like it's incredible. Although Shah, who's the rappers who used to sample that? It was
It
was it Redman? Redman.
No, it was
Oh,
Pharaoh Monch.
That's not Redman sampling Godzilla?
No. Pharaoh Monch did that in that what was that fucking song called?
I thought it was
Simon
Redman.
Says, the Simon
Okay.
song.
Okay. Bump, bump, bump,
Yeah.
bump. Yeah, like they put
Yeah,
the hip
that
hop
was-
beat underneath it. That's
Yeah,
dope.
that was Pharaoh Monch.
MTV
Okay.
used that for everything
Everything.
back in the day. Yeah.
MTV used that shit for everything. It's a universal thing. You know what I mean? But I'm excited. I'm glad B Show got to see it, and the hype is real. And I know when Shah sees it, he's gonna end up buying the steelbook like the day it comes out, for sure. I don't even know who's distributing any of this yet because it's still making money theatrically. But it is Christmas time, people. And I want to ask you guys: I am really behind in any of the Christmas shit, like any of it. I haven't watched any Christmas shit at all. I ended up falling down a rabbit hole this weekend and rewatching the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League for 3.5 hours. And then I ended up falling into The Dark Knight because I haven't watched it in a long time. And it was just starting. And I purposely, it just fell into that first Heath Ledger scene. And then I had to watch the whole fucking thing again. Shah, have you watched any of the Christmas horror yet or any Christmas movies at all yet? I haven't watched anything.
I tried to watch a trilogy that's on Shudder, but it was terrible, so I turned it off
The
immediately.
Advent Calendar?
Maybe. It was so bad. The acting was so bad we just turned it off. But I did watch that evil Christmas movie. What was it? The one with the robots with the
Christmas Bloody Christmas.
I didn't really like it, man. That
Oh, I
movie was
liked it.
fucking
I liked it.
slow, dude. I thought it was
I
very
liked it.
slow.
It's a little chatty.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. So this week I'm gonna try to watch Krampus because I mean that's a classic now at this point.
Okay. What about are you gonna Black Christmas has got to be on there, right?
Yeah, we watched that a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you
So,
already watched it.
I'm ready.
Okay. What
Yeah.
about what have you already put in the pipeline? I haven't seen Dick.
Honestly, just Black Christmas, Gremlins, and the one I just mentioned.
Okay. Christmas Bloody Christmas. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once it gets going, it's pretty good. But it takes a little too long to get there. I agree with you. It does take a little long to get there. B Show, what about you? I'm sure you've banged a few out.
Not as many as I'd hoped to. I did watch Mr. Isaacs brings up Christmas Evil a couple weeks ago.
Oh, hi, Mr. Isaacs.
But other than that, I haven't really watched any. I did watch Bad Santa this weekend though. I haven't seen that movie in a
that's a
long
good
time.
one.
Yeah.
Bad Santa
So-
2 is not that good.
I don't even want to watch it.
It's not that
I don't even
good.
want to watch it.
Shah, are you a Bad Santa guy? I like it.
Honest, fuck, man. I would probably put it in my top 3, honestly.
Bad Santa. Whoa.
Yeah.
Did
I
you
mean,
watch the
Home
sequel?
Alone, Elf, and Bad Santa, probably.
Okay.
Bad Santa is fucking great, dude. I mean,
I
that
love
is.
Bad Santa. Do you
that was
watch
an
do you
instant
watch the
classic.
unrated version? I don't know if it's out there, but
Yeah. I think it came out on DVD years ago. Yeah.
I have the
Uh,
unrated version.
you have
gotta
the
watch
unrated
that
B
one.
Show? Okay.
Yeah.
I watched that in the movie theater, actually.
I would have liked to have seen that in the theater. Who's the it's the woman from Gilmore Girls who is, she's a little older now. What is her name? She used to be very cute. Lori Graham, is that
That
her
might be
name?
it.
Um, I have to say, where he's fucking her in the hot tub, there's no nudity in it, and she's just going, "Fuck me, Santa, fuck me, Santa."
Yeah.
I just think that's so goddamn funny, Bisha. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's like this skinny, drunk, like AIDS-ridden looking fucking Billy Bob. And Lauren Graham, I think, looks pretty damn good in that movie. She's a
Yeah.
sexy girl.
Now he walks up and unzips her dress from the back when she's trying to put the Christmas tree up. Just like you look at it, like it's funny because like they haven't changed physically throughout the movie where he'll get slowly cleaner as he's starting to redeem himself. But
Yeah.
there's times where he's like barely awake, he's not shaved, his hair's fucked up, he's
Yeah.
in a robe that he hasn't washed in 2 weeks,
Oh,
probably
you
smells
could
like
smell him.
ass.
You could probably
And
smell him
she's
from
like,
the
"Fuck me,
TV.
Santa, fuck me, Santa, fuck me."
Oh, I just thought that was really sexy. By the way, Shah, she's also, she was in that second to last season of Curb, and she was the one who called him Larry Longballs.
Yeah.
Oh, was she?
Yeah. Remember Larry
Yo,
Longballs?
I do remember. Yo, you know what I recently watched? Again, I saw this in the movie theater with my mom, and it was the most
Oh,
awkward shit ever because, like, I didn't know it was that kind of movie, right?
oh
I ran
no.
across Jim Carrey classic, Me, Myself, and Irene. Do you remember that movie?
That's on cable a lot lately.
Yeah,
That's
I
on
just
cable.
watched that, and it's got the same midget from Bad Santa. So
Yes, is that one of his? That's not one of his kids, is it? Remember, he has
no, it's the
sons?
guy that stole his wife. Yeah,
Oh, that's the guy who stole his wife and left him
yeah,
with the
it's the
sons.
father to his kids.
Yeah, Anthony Anderson, I think, is the
Fucking
oldest
that
son.
movie's great, dude.
That's a fucked
Yeah.
up movie. Fairly
Yeah.
Brothers Go Deep. I just watched Something About Mary for the first time. That
What?
movie, no, for the first time in a long time, I meant to say.
Oh, okay. I
That
thought he was
movie
thinking.
for 98, that was about as edgelord shit as you can get, B-Show. Like, they did not have R-rated comedies like that in 98.
No, I remember everyone talking about the hair gel thing, and I just, as a kid, like 12 years old in '98, and hearing other people talking about that in like a mainstream movie,
Franks and
fucking
Beans.
weird. And then was what's her name? Lynn Shay, wasn't she the apartment manager or something?
Yeah,
The bake
yeah.
the or
The
the
old Magdala, whatever. The
yeah,
tan.
yeah,
Yeah.
super tanned and nasty.
Super tan
I
lady.
mixed
Yeah.
that one up with the other one where she's trying to fuck Ernie Munson, the bowler kingpin.
Oh, and Kingpin. Oh, that's right.
I think
Yeah, well,
I mixed those two up.
that's a Fairly Brothers movie too, isn't it, Kingpin?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, like, Shah, when was the last time you saw Something About Mary? It holds up so perfectly now.
Probably like 5-6 years ago. I mean, dude, that's one of my fucking favorites. I love that movie.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a fucking. If people haven't seen it in a while, if you're curious,
you know what else? You know what else is hilarious? It's not raunchy at all by any means, but it's another Ben Stiller fucking underrated movie that I thought of. Duplex. You ever see that?
I don't think with Drew Barrymore.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't never seen it.
Yo,
Still
that
really
movie.
cute back then.
That movie's fucking great, man.
Yeah, I got to give some shout outs here. I got to check that out. Kevco's joining us, and of course Ricky Grimes just jumped in. What's up, Ricky? Of course we have the usual suspects chilling. But yeah, I have not caught up on my movies at all. B Show, where are you at with the Christmas horror?
That was it. I watched Christmas Evil and one other I can't remember, but I watched Bad Santa, and then I don't consider this a Christmas movie, but it's one of my favorite just offbeat comedies from the '80s. Is Better Off Dead.
Love Better Off Dead. I feel like that could be a Christmas movie.
Yeah, and one of the great lines is he's trying to ski the K-12, and you've got the guy who plays Booger. He's like, "Geez, dude, it's Christmas Eve. I could be drinking this monster eggnog my brother makes with lighter fluid." It's just there's so many weirdo fucking lines like that. It's just so great.
Yeah. Sorry, your Ricky's in a coma. What is sorry, Ricky. Sorry about your mom being in a coma, Ricky.
Gee, sorry your mom blew up, Ricky.
Gee, sorry your mom blew up, Ricky.
And it's just delivered so.
It's so that's a great. We used to quote the $5 was $2 was we were repeating that. We were getting drunk repeating that in like 8th grade, 9th grade. Like it was wild. But it is the holidays. I think somebody mentioned they just saw Christmas Evil for the first time, and they were blown away by it. Me and B Show will die on the Christmas Evil hill. But I feel like Black Christmas ultimately. I don't know, just to put this to rest, because we always talk about it. I think overall, Black Christmas is probably the number one overall of quality for Christmas horror. Shot. Do you think? I mean, would you say Black Christmas? OG Black Christmas, clearly. I'm talking.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, make sure.
No, I would say Krampus took it over for me, man.
Well, I like Krampus a lot, but it's a lot of comedy in Krampus, and there's no comedy in Black
Yeah,
Christmas.
I need that though. It's Christmas, man. I don't want to see like a serial killer movie. You know what I mean? Like it's,
Mhm.
I don't know. I just feel like Krampus is a softer movie for a softer time of the year. You know, you got fluffy
Yeah.
snow outside. You know, no one wants to imagine serial killers hiding in your fucking bedroom.
Did you guys see Violent Night yet from last year?
Yeah, I saw it at the movie theater.
Oh, you saw it in theaters. Yeah, you
Yeah.
fell asleep, right, Shah?
I towards the end, yeah.
Okay.
I enjoyed it for the most part, though. I mean, it's an action-packed movie.
Yeah,
A lot gorier than I expected.
big time.
It's I wouldn't say it's a horror movie. It's definitely an action movie, but it's very violent.
Yeah, well, it's the dead snow guy and
Yeah.
that. Bisho, did you see Violent Night? I always forget.
No, because I was mixing that one up with the robot movie. I thought I watched it already.
Christmas Bloody Christmas. Yeah.
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 But no,
You
I've
should
not
watch
seen
Violent
that.
Night. It's the David whatever, the guy from Stranger Things. He's the real Santa, but he's kind of like a drunk loser Santa who gets put in a Die Hard situation and then gets fucking medieval on everybody. And it's a hard R for the right shot. Like it gets very graphic, that movie, gradually, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely a hard R. My dog just threw up. Yeah,
I thought it was a parrot. I was like, when did you
No, that's my old dog. I don't think he threw up. He gagged. But yeah, I feel bad for that guy, man, because he can't get out of that character. Like, no matter what he does, I can't help but remember him as the Stranger Things guy.
David Harbour.
Yeah, I can't get over it.
Mm.
He's got to do something completely different, man. He's got to, I don't know.
Well, they made him Hellboy, and quite frankly, the Hellboy he was in, I thought was very good. Nobody liked it. It was one of the biggest modern day comic book flop movies of all time, and they threw him right the fuck out of there and got somebody else. Because Ron Perlman didn't want to put the makeup on anymore at like 65 years old or whatever the fuck.
Was that the third one?
That was the most recent one from 2 years ago, which, by the way, if you watch it, it's pretty good. I don't know why people hate that movie so much. I just think Hellboy's got a weird following with people. For people that don't know, you guys probably don't know this. Hellboy has like a fucking cult following from the comic book. Like Mike Mignola, the creator. I dated a girl for years. She was my girlfriend for many years. She had a whole piece going up her leg of the Mike Mignola characters from Hellboy. So Bisha, did you ever see it? It's actually not bad, but people
Not
just
the
didn't
new
like
one. I
it.
saw the first and the second one with
Do
some.
you know who the villain is? Fucking
No.
the gothy looking broad from the 90s. Parker Posey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Parker fucking Posey is the villain in the 3 year ago's Hellboy. And I think it's an R-rated movie. But when you see like the creatures in it, you can be like, yo, why the fuck didn't this do better? I don't think people liked the way he looked. And they didn't like some of the direction it went, but I'm not a Hellboy comic person. I'm a casual Hellboy fan. But yeah, you're right, Shah. He has trouble getting out of that typecasting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he really does. Paul Giamatti comes to mind here because Joe Punches has mentioned him because he was in probably what I think. If you guys get a chance, I think you might have to pay a lot of money to rent it. But if you're looking for a good Christmas movie, that's fucking a good movie. The Holdovers, which it's getting a lot of press now because all the awards are mentioning in every category that I knew it was going to be in. It's a Christmas movie from the 70s. But Paul Giamatti was a guy, I think, who was typecast a lot too, who I feel like broke out of a lot of that into different types of roles. But as B show, like guys that kind of like look like regular dudes, it's hard for them to get out of that world, whether it's David Harbour or Paul Giamatti or even like a Michael Shannon, like these are like not handsome Hollywood guys, but they look like people, is what I'm saying. And sometimes it's difficult for them to break out of those roles.
And even to a different extent, The Rock, when the Rock, because we'll talk
when
about
he
him
first came out. Oh, good.
He dropped like 60 pounds. He was kind of thin for himself. He looked like was trying to be like, hey, I'm leading man guy. And then finally, when he caught on, he got dieseled up again, and now he's Arnold Schwarzenegger point.
And he looked like he was trying to hold on to his hair too when he got into Hollywood. Like,
he did have that.
You guys remember the skinny? You guys remember Skinny Rock with hair?
With the Diet Pepsi on the red carpet? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Remember that shot? Because he was in a bunch of movies like that.
Yeah, I call it the Carlton syndrome. When you remember Carlton, like he couldn't get out of that character. That's what he was forever.
He's got sick moves though.
Yeah. He's actually in a great horror movie by the name of Ticks. You ever heard of that movie?
I've heard Alfonso Rivera.
He's in Ticks?
Yeah, he's in Ticks. Yeah. Yep. He's in Ticks. Yep.
Sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say, who's it?
Ron Howard.
I can't think of it. Yeah, Ron Howard's brother, Clint Howard.
Clint Howard, that's what I meant. Yeah. Clint Howard
Wow.
and Carlton. Yeah, in
I didn't know he was
Texas.
in
Wait,
that
I'm
movie.
sorry.
Look it
There's
up.
a
Type
sta-
in. Type in.
Wait, there's a movie where the two stars are Clint Howard and Carlton.
Yes, and it's a B horror movie with a
You
gigantic tick.
think?
Yeah, it's amazing.
I've heard of ticks.
Oh
I
my God,
love it.
he is. You're right. Holy
It's
Can we
shit.
put that
so
on the
good.
screen? I just want to see a little
Yeah.
bit of this.
It's so good. I highly recommend this movie, by the way.
Boy, if you're ever
Oh,
feeling
Seth Green is in it
unattractive,
too. I
just-
forgot. Yeah, Seth Green is one of the main.
is in it.
Yeah, he's one of the main characters. Yeah.
Wait a minute. I think there's more people in this than. All right, Clint Howard. That's a picture from 50 years ago. Peter Scolari is in it. Oh my God.
Dude, this is a really fun movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a great scene where
wow.
Clint Howard comes out of a barn and he's got this giant fucking thing on the side of his vest. He's like, they're infesting. And they start busting out of his fucking head.
Oh my God. What year is this? Like early 90s?
Like 93.
Looks like it. Yeah.
It looks early 90s.
I got this from. I discovered this through Vinegar Syndrome. actually.
93. Wow. It looks
I watched
very
this on
93.
USA Network when I was like 10, man.
So Seth Green is like the casted star of the film.
Yeah.
Wait, I think Can't Hardly Wait came out around this time. Like Seth Green wasn't doing much. And he's young. Wow. Is this good, Shah, or is this like good bad? Is this like shitty good?
If no, it's fun. It's a B movie. If you like the Ice Cream Man with Clint Howard, you would
I
like
love
this.
the Ice Cream Man because it's Clint Howard.
This gives me that same vibe. Like it's the same. It's the same type of budget. It's the same type of independent movie. It's the same
Well, it
type
was
of
on the cover of Fango in 93.
Yeah.
Joe Punches remembers the VHS.
Look at
cover.
that picture, man. Fucking Seth Green and Carlton.
Wow. Wow. Look at Carl. He looks so young. His name is what? Alfonso Ribera, right? Ribera? I want to say his right name.
Ribeiro, yeah.
Gotta give him his props, man. He's Carlton for crazy.
That's what I mean by the Carlton syndrome, man. I just called him Carlton. I can't even get out
I
of it.
know. Yeah, well, he was the tap dance kid on Broadway. I know that because I'm a theater child. I'm a theater kid. So I knew that. Wow, wait, are we just you're just not even gonna check because we just know it's on Tubi, right? Like there's just no this looks like
this
a
is
Tubi.
definitely a
Oh,
Tubi.
This is like
movie.
Godfather to Tubi.
Yeah.
There you
this
go.
is- of course it's on Tubi.
This is like Tubi's Godfather. Oh God. Like who's the girl? I can't read her name, Bisho.
Amy Dolan's.
Amy
We need
Dolan.
merch that says of course it's on Tubi.
Oh, dude, that would
Man.
be a great. Amy Dolan's looks like she's cute. What has she done? Hello.
Pumpkinhead 2, Ticks, Witchboard 2, a lot of trash.
A lot of bad
Death
horror.
Monster?
Has she done any good movies? Let's see.
Doesn't look like it.
Doesn't
Can't
look
Buy Me
like-
Love?
She's
Is that
in
another
Can't-
John Cusack movie?
No. That's Patrick Dempsey's movie.
Gotcha.
How is Seth Green's in Can't Buy Me Love? Oh my God, we're going.
That
off
I
on a
do seem
tangent.
to remember, yeah.
I remember Can't Buy Me. Shah, you remember Can't Buy Me Love?
No, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, you're not missing much. It's probably on Tubi. Dude, we should just dude.
There
Like,
you go.
we need a Tubi shirt. I'm telling you, we gotta. Wow, Can't Buy Me Love. Well, that's the Beatles.
Oh,
song
goddamn
that's
it.
coming up. Oh, Slave Cheeks is saying it's Mickey Dolenz daughter from the Monkees, Amy Dolenz. Get the
Oh.
fuck out of here. Look
It's
at
not on
that.
Tubi, but it's on Prime for $3.79.
Wait, Malachi is in it from Children of the Corn.
Is that him?
You can't have two gingers in a movie. That's illegal.
Outlander.
Dude, even in the 80s, there was a law that said more than two gingers was not allowed in a film. How do you have Seth Green and Malachi in a movie, Shah? How is that possible?
It's definitely a cursed movie. No one's
Wow.
heard of it apparently.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, we're going way back now. We're going to VHS
Dude,
days. here in
please,
this
please
motherfucker.
check out Ticks though. You would fucking love it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll Tubi it.
No, definitely.
I'll totally Tubi that shit.
That's the
But,
shirt. Totally Tubi.
Totally Tubi. That's such a Tubi movie. Somebody had a Twitter thing was like these Tubi. It was like a weird meme of like somebody killing their wife in a Tubi movie, and it was so funny. Like it was so fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah. It came in the front door and shot her point blank or something.
yeah,
like that.
shot her point blank, like because he married another woman and she got out of prison and she just kills him, the woman, and the kid, like in the doorway.
But it's so terribly acted and cornball.
Oh, it's
my God.
terribly acted.
Yeah.
So we had our top list last week. We focused on our horror movies. And there was some surprises there, but mostly we were kind of in sync with a lot of our stuff. But Variety, I wanted to go over this because I was very curious about this list from Variety. Variety, which is probably next to the Hollywood Reporter, the top entertainment source in news, like, in Hollywood and media news for entertainment news. They put out their top list, guys. And I thought we should have a little conversation about it because I think it's worth mentioning. Um, Now, I want to point out I did not see some of these movies, but I've heard of them. And one of them, there's 16. I don't know if we need to go over all of them, but they did, I guess, their top 16. I don't know what that's about. But I want to talk about that Birth Rebirth because Mike from Necromaniacs told me it's clear it's on Shutter right now. So anyone who has Shutter can see it. It is one of the easily best top 5 horror movies of the year. Have you either one of you heard of Birth Rebirth? It is on Shutter. I checked. It is there.
I haven't even heard of this one.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, it's on a lot of people's lists. So if anyone in the chat has heard of it, but Bisho, have you heard of it?
No, not till right now.
Yeah. I would like to check this out. My brother's telling me I have to watch it. It was in his top 5, top 6 rather. So that's on 16. Let's scroll through these a little bit. We won't spend too much time. Knock at the Cabin. I think that's fair. You know, we all kind of liked it in some way. Influencer. This is another Tubi movie. I have not seen this. Shah, have you heard of this? I've heard of it.
I think I saw a trailer for it, maybe, but it was nothing that I gravitated towards.
Yeah, they say it's on Shutter there. Bisho, have you heard of it?
No, I mean, in reading through lists this year, yes, but as far as seeing trailers, no.
Yeah. Now, I'm not trying to be crass. Can you scroll up a little bit? That girl with the birthmark on her face, she is from It's a Wonderful Knife. That is a real birthmark. She's an actress. That is an actual beauty mark that looks like a map of Texas on her face. I don't know if you guys, people can see that in the chat, but I don't know her name, but she seems like a pretty decent actress, and that's pretty badass that is not a hindrance to her craft that is focused on beauty because she's a good looking kid. You guys see that, like her face, she's got a giant birthmark there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but props to her. She did a good job, and It's a Wonderful Knife, and she seems to be having a good career. The Blackening. This looks like a fun movie. We talked about it when it came out. It did very well. They're making a sequel. I know it's streaming right now. I don't know too many people who've seen it, but people seem to like it. It's on Apple, I guess it says. And I like that they tell you everything's streaming. So here's where it gets interesting. So they have the most recent Scream on there. Shai, I know you were doing the back Screams. Did you catch up or you never caught up?
No, I still haven't caught up yet.
Okay. So this was this year. Me and Bisho saw it in theaters. We thought it was good to okay. Is that fair, Bisho?
Yeah, it was decent. It was, probably not as good as 5, but it was okay. I mean, it had some cool stuff to it. Yeah.
Yeah, not as cool as the previous one either. So that was okay. That doesn't make a top 10 for anybody. Brooklyn 45, B-Show. There you go. Brooklyn 45 on Shudder.
I thought, like I said, I thought it was cool. I know not everyone's gonna dig it, but for what it was, I thought it was cool.
Okay. Go ahead. No one will save you in the top 10. All right, we all talked about that last week. It would have been in my top 10 easily, and the boys had it in their top 2. Deliver Us. This I don't know. I don't know if this doesn't look American. It's on Prime. Okay, so this would be worth checking out.
She's pregnant through immaculate conception and expecting special twins, namely the Messiah and the Antichrist.
Yo, Shah! Did you see that shit?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of this actually.
Okay. B-Show.
That
just made that must made the watch list for 2024.
Definitely.
All right, so I love the premise. I'm on board. In My Mother's Skin. I've heard of this. It's a Filipino movie.
It's a fairy tale set at the end of World War II. Filipino film about a young girl named Tala who must protect her little brother Bayani and sick mother when their father's taken away for potentially hiding gold from Japanese soldiers.
Interesting. Okay. This is on Prime. Wow, Prime's got a couple sleepers on here. This looks interesting. That's a cool title. Thanksgiving. Now, interesting enough, it did not make my list. Shah didn't see it yet, but Shah did hit streaming this weekend, I think, to pay. B-Show, why didn't it make your list? I can tell you why it didn't make mine.
I didn't see it. I wasn't able to get to the theater and see it.
That's right, you didn't see it. I don't want to, then I definitely don't want to say too much. I think it just missed the mark a little bit, but I thought it was great for what it was. I just think there were better films. Had I had a top 10, it would have been in it. Evil Dead Rise, another one, just got pushed off my list. I know Shah said it got pushed off his list. I don't know. Like, it's weird. I felt like this when we knew this was coming and it was started, I felt like this would be in everybody's easily top 5. And it's funny, Shah, how it just makes 6 there, right? Like you said, that would have been your 6th. Didn't you say that? And I think I said that maybe too.
Yeah, it was originally my number 5, and then I decided to put in Beau is Afraid. But
okay,
I wasn't disappointed with Evil Dead Rise. You know, like I think the title screen, you know, in the beginning of the movie, I think is one of the best ones I've ever seen in
The
any
open. How about
movie.
that whole opening 6-7 minutes
Yeah.
though? Before it's fantastic.
So it started out really strong, and I thought it ended pretty strong, pretty violent at least. So I mean, it didn't disappoint me too badly. I just, I didn't necessarily like the premise that much.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people, and Bisha, a lot of people didn't like that it all took place in that apartment building.
Yeah, I'm fine with stuff like that. I don't understand why it has to take place in 2 or 3 different places, which is probably why some people didn't like Brooklyn 45 because it's all in that one room.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I'm cool with it.
Okay. Well, here we go, guys. Infinity Pool. Wow. If I'm not mistaken, it was on all of our top 5 lists. Correct, Bisha? I know it was on Shah's and mine. It was on yours too, right?
I think it was my number 2.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah. I think people are going to be talking about this movie for a long time. I feel bad that I will say this: of all these films, this is the one the least amount of people I know have seen. Would you say that, Shah? I feel like this got the least sort of chatter of all.
Yeah,
these
I think this was the sleeper of the year.
Mm.
It was originally going to be my number 1 before I put in Bo, but this was a fucking almost 10 out of 10 for me, dude.
Jesus.
I adore this movie. It's violent, it's weird, it's unsettling.
Great cinematography, great score.
Yeah, sci-fi-ish kind of mixed with horror, and it's got body horror. It's got everything,
Let me ask you guys a quick question about this. I know, Bisha, you enjoyed it quite a bit too. Don't you think this could even work as a series? Or you don't?
Yeah, I could totally see this as like a 10-episode series. Absolutely.
Like somebody developing this for like Apple as a series, or like even Shudder for a series.
Yeah, I could see that.
Right? Do you think so, Bisha? Because you could do so much with this. It's endless.
Well, and like if it's happening here, it could be happening other places. And what happens when these people commingle? You could even take it in a John Wick direction, where like first it's about the assassins, then it's about like John Wick. It becomes about the hotel, and then there's more. It just
Or one
builds out as it
episode,
goes.
like one episode, it could be in every different country. It could be in 10 different fucking countries.
Yeah, so there's a lot they could do with it, and I didn't even think about a series until you brought that up. That's pretty outstanding.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people, even in the chat or listening, have not seen this film. You really need to correct that. Where is it streaming right now, Shah? Is it? It's on Hulu. Yeah. Okay. Hulu. I forget that telling us. Let's go to 4. Bo was afraid, Shah. I told you it was going to be on horror list. It's on all horror lists.
My number 1, dude. You got to watch this movie.
It's on Apple. It's streaming. Is it on Apple Pay or is it on Pay? Why would you?
Dude, I'm pretty sure my copy of the movie came with a digital code. If I give it to you guys, will you guys watch it?
Absolutely. Yeah. I might even be able to bang it out this weekend. But as hard as that might be that probably won't happen. Maybe tomorrow. I'm going to see tonight if it's on Apple because I'm going to be up pretty late. But Shah loves this movie. It was probably his favorite, one of his favorite films of the year overall. But it does get put in that horror category because of the context and, of course, who made it and so forth. What's left on this variety list? Yeah, I don't see how it couldn't go any much lower than that. I like that they chose the what do they call them? Not the wretched. What do they call the oh guys, what do they call the when you're taking, they don't call it like they call it like the rancid or something like that.
It might be the wretched.
Is it the wretched?
That sounds familiar. I don't know if it is.
Is it the wretched? Because that's what he is. He's wretched.
And for those listening, When Evil Lurks at number 3.
Yeah, When Evil Lurks. Yeah, it's just so. I mean, we've exhausted this to death with When Evil Lurks. Is this is going to be a movie a long time from now. Somebody right now watched that movie in the last year, I think, Shah, and said, "I want to make a movie like this," and it's going to make a banger in like 6 or 7 years. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a cult classic. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's already almost there. It's got a large following. I mean, you can't talk about 2023 horror and not mention this movie. Especially on the forums, dude. I mean, on these Facebook groups, like,
there's full conversations, Shah, right? Like,
yeah, people really fell in love with this, Terrifier, and Talk to Me. Those were like
it's kind of like the Terrifier of this year, I think, in a lot as far as cover goes. Kevco hasn't seen it yet. Joe Punches says it still haunts him. Kevco, you got to check this out. Be shown, of course. I mean, don't you think? Do you think this is gonna get a couple people into film school? Maybe
yeah. It's one of those movies where it's not the big blockbuster, but it's just so well done. It's a foreign film. We've talked about it to death, but for many reasons, I agree.
Yeah. I really hope more people get to see it. Unfortunately, sometimes the Shudder, I think, aspect limits the audience versus, say, like an HBO Max, clearly, or even a Peacock or something like that. But it's worth paying. The Shudder's also only $7 or $8, so it's like you'd be crazy not to do it. Number 2, When Evil Lurks. Excuse me, Talk to Me. Another I think it's going to be considered an influential movie. Definitely a critic darling. Wouldn't you say, B Show?
Yeah, it was like a perfect storm of done by A24, but it was commercial enough. It had some influencers behind it. So it was enough outside of the scope of the mainstream for people who like more indie stuff to be enjoyable. Plus, the content was good, but it also did appeal enough to the commercial audiences that maybe they're used to seeing a Blumhouse movie. It's kind of up that vein, but it's more intense and a lot better. So
Yeah. Now, Shah, I also feel like this is going to go down possibly. We talked about how this year wasn't as strong as the previous year for the horror genre, but this could be another influential type film, don't you think?
Yeah, I think this was, similar to what Bisha was saying. I think this was a kind of like the perfect storm. It gave us what we were kind of craving from A24 because they haven't put anything out recently that was horror related since Men, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So, it fed that desire, but it also kind of catered to the mainstream and it got a buzz going. And A24 is not like they're an indie company still, I guess, but they're blowing up, dude. They're not really like,
Yeah.
Some underground shit show anymore.
And this was the highest grossing A24 film, I believe, of all time, right? This is it. They had said that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so that's good for them.
Beat
And
Hereditary.
Beat Hereditary. And of course, P-Show, the number one, which was Mike from Necromaniacs.
I'm blown away by that. I'll just say that.
Well, this is really what I wanted to talk about a little bit. So,
Yeah.
Skinamarink. Now, listen, we would be lying if we said when we saw the trailer, the three of us didn't shit our pants a little bit before we actually saw the film. I think we all watched it that weekend when it hit.
Mm-hmm.
It was getting major press. It was getting the kind of press that you want, especially for a movie that costs about as much as a 10 or 12-year-old high mileage sedan, if you want to buy it. So I respect the idea. I respect most of the, if not some of the execution. But for me, I started looking at my phone after about a half hour of this, and I decided that maybe analog horror was not going to be the big boon that people thought it was. Shah, just to backtrack, did you fall asleep in this? I'm trying to remember.
No, I had to turn it off.
Okay.
I couldn't sit through it anymore, man. I was like, okay, I got the gist of this. This is cool for like a horror movie short, maybe 15 minutes, a full length hour and a half movie of me staring at walls. Not for me, man. Okay. Maybe if I was on like mushrooms or something, I'd probably have the worst trip of all time.
Yeah.
But no.
B-Show?
It reminded me of when I watched Beyond the Black Rainbow, except I wasn't as entertained.
I think Beyond the Black Rainbow is pretty great.
I think it's great. It just it was like long, and sometimes it was hard to just hang in there. But with Skinamarink, like there was like Beyond the Black Rainbow, there's something definitive and defined about it. And I don't know why Sharon Lois and Bram are on my screen. Oh, Skinamarink.
Well, that's from the Skinamarink.
Yeah.
Kid show.
But like Beyond the Black Rainbow gave you something to keep hooking you in. And other than like the visuals, there really wasn't a lot about Skinamarink. It ran thin really quick.
Well, it's got a 2.1 on Google as far as movies go. And Variety, again, the highest sort of the source of entertainment news. It's got a 72 tomato reader from critics, but a 44 audience score. Again, my brother Mike, this really impacted him. This really affected him. He responded to it the way a lot of other people responded to it. I didn't do that for me. I wanted it to do that for me. I feel like if I just saw the trailer, if this was a movie where the three of us just saw the trailer and never saw the movie, it would kind of be like a big deal. We'd be like, wow, that trailer is so great. If you told me this was a short, which I don't watch a lot of shorts, I would have liked it. Like a half-hour short, I would have probably been like, great. But B-Show, let me ask you a question. Do you think we're not going to get movies like? Because I think we're not going to get more films like this. I really don't. I think it happened. It was a $15,000 movie. It made like 6 or 7 million. It did probably maybe even a little better than that. Somewhere it made millions. I know that because it got bought, and it didn't make a lot in theaters, but I'm sure it got bought. At least it made tons of money for the budget. I shouldn't say it made millions, but B-Show, I don't think we're going to see more movies like this. I just don't think there's a appetite for it. Do you?
I think analog horror is more directed toward art house. So as far as wide releases, no. I could see them doing more liminal spaces things with like someone wanders into an old mall and it's creepy, but then all of a sudden you can't get out and it's like this other world. I could see like there's more meat on the bone there and you can do other things.
Right.
But as far as this, where it's just like a single shot in a hallway for 25 minutes, no.
Where you don't see anything. Somebody had a funny meme today. Shot was this is my favorite scene from Skinamarink, and it's just a black screen.
Yeah. Yo, to be honest though, A24 is doing something similar to this. They're doing that Backrooms movie.
See, that's what I'm talking
Yeah, but
about.
I could see that. Like when I say I could see it, I don't mean proverbially. I mean physically see it. I could see the room.
Yeah.
It's a little different when I could see the room in a YouTube thing and it's 10 minutes and it's a little off-putting. And then
I'm dying to see that, dude. Yo, fucking those Backroom shorts, they creep me the fuck out.
Well, they're short and they're open-ended. So this kind of was not. I don't think it was as open-ended. Some people in the chat are saying this movie fucking sucked.
It did.
You know, yeah, Gary Thorpe, Skinamarink fucking sucked. I think Joe Punch.
Oh, I think Mike came over and cut John's internet for shitting on.
Yeah, he kicked him right off.
uh,
Who's the director? The director is pretty famous that's doing this. Maybe it's the same person that did the Backrooms, actually. Yeah, I think they're using the same director that came up with it.
Yeah, let's see. Ah, fuck, my ad blocker's not working. Parsons, who's just 17 years old, will direct from a script by Roberto Patino.
Jesus.
17?
Can you imagine? Yo, A24's got some balls giving a 17-year-old a shot.
Dude, that's like that.
I love
meme
them
of the dude.
though.
What's that?
No, I love them for taking chances like this, you know?
Yeah, no, that's great, but like I feel like that dude putting the clown makeup on in the morning, the meme from Facebook where it's like, here's me going to work to work hard and earn a paycheck, and there's some 16-year-old who makes $30 million a month, like on YouTube.
See, I'm okay with that though, because that 17-year-old, they were creative. You know what I mean? Like they had a vision, you know. I get more so irritated when I know somebody is making $17 million on OnlyFans by slightly showing their vagina lip. Like that doesn't take talent. Like that's what bothers me. I'll be a hater to that shit. I'm not going to be a hater towards a 17-year-old director. You know?
No,
I'm not hating on him. I'm saying it's a personal thing. It just makes me feel bad.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
like good on them.
When you have genes as old as the person directing the movie. Shot, sometimes you might feel a little differently about it. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we're getting close to wrap it up soon, so there's a couple of quick things I wanted to get to because we haven't gotten to them. First and foremost, there is a major story that was building up in the last day or two. As of right now, there is no development for it, and all of these studios are pretty much done for the year as far as studios go. What am I talking about? There was a major leak that Warner Brothers and Paramount executives over this week have sat down to discuss a merger of two of the biggest media entities, ever. Paramount being, one of the long-standing names in studio work going back to maybe the early 1900s. I mean, they probably started putting movies out in the 1930s. And Warner Brothers Media, who is having a very difficult, weird year since the merger with Discovery. I guess that's called Discovery Warner is the new. I should know what this is called. There's been no developments for it. The story broke. It was everywhere. Now, I can't say too much about this, but somebody that knows a little bit more about this than an average person told me that they think that this is not going to happen. And if it does, it's going to take a very long time. And then I saw that a congressperson tweeted out that Warner Brothers is a studio entity operating at a financial loss, and that it would be almost impossible for them to I guess fiscally show that they have the capability to do something like this. Now, I do want to point out, and we're going to talk about this cryptically for logistical reasons for me and B Show, that this is a merger. No one said Warner Brothers is buying Paramount. They referred to it as a merger of the two brands. So that might be why, if Warner Brothers would sort of legally be able to buy the company, they're not trying to buy it, they're trying to merge. Shah, if this happened, this would be easily the most powerful studio like media company in the world, like easily. Do we want these things to happen? Because, or do we want them to have separate entities so that they compete to put out better products and streaming services and films and TV shows that we want to we want to watch?
No, I actually, in fact, hate the idea. Um, Simply for selfish reasons, because I like, for example, just this is a small part of it, but physical media, right? Disney bought out Fox. So all the Fox movies now have no opportunity of seeing physical media because Disney doesn't do physical media anymore, unless it's like a what was it, like an Elemental or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the big
they still do
Pixar
physical
movies.
media. They do, but they don't
Yeah.
do it
Right,
at the
but
pace.
they're not going back to 1996 and releasing a fucking lost movie on from the Fox catalog. That's just not happening.
Mm.
So and you know, I like competition. You know, when you merge things like, you know, they did it with ECW, WCW, and WWE, it got ruined, right? You want other companies to be completely separate, so that way, if one fucks up one way, the other one can make up for it. If they all become one, it's similar to Disney, man. Like, I hate what Disney has become. You know,
Mm.
I love Disney. I can't stand them now because they've taken everything that I enjoy and ruined it.
And they've taken things that you never even watched and ruined it, shot like Star Wars and Marvel.
I'm sure, yeah.
You know, yeah, no, I agree. I mean, B show again. We're going to talk cryptically about this, but as far as I know, you're pulling up some of the bullet points here.
Yeah. So one thing that they've said is they're confident the deal, this is according to Axios, would receive regulatory approval despite DC's active antitrust climate, Washington, that is. Notably, Warner Brothers Discovery doesn't own a broadcast network, which would be a clear and easy path than a combination with a company like NBC. And David
Huh.
Zaslav, who is the head of Warner
Yes.
Discovery, whatever, he recently told investors that the company's cost-cutting measures and debt reduction have now put it in a position to allocate more money toward growth opportunities.
Hmm.
So, you know, I'm not a fan of the Walmart brand of takeovers and, you know, mergers and these big companies, to Shah's points, but also when you think about the strikes that just went on, there was some good ground made by, you know, writers and people,
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah, it was a good
craftspeople.
deal. Yeah,
But now what you're doing is you're essentially folding two giant companies together who are two of the biggest movie companies of all time.
of all time.
In fact, when we talked about this earlier this week, I went back and looked. Paramount has been around in some form since 1912.
Oh, Jesus.
So it's like the second or third longest running movie
Yeah, next
company.
to Columbia. Yeah, next to I think well, Columbia doesn't really exist anymore.
No,
Warner Brothers is up there. I mean, Warner Brothers is an entity has been around that long.
yeah,
1912. So World War
1912.
One they were operating.
There was a different
Holy
name, and then they changed their
gosh,
name to Paramount something or other in like 1927 or something
Jesus
like that.
Christ. Wow. Well, Paramount's flat broke. Paramount Plus is a disaster. They now lost the A24 stuff to HBO. They merged their streaming with Showtime. That had happened. We had covered that a little bit. Um, you know, somebody, I think Nerdrotic B Show said that this is a result of the strike of the deal from the strike. This you're going to see these things happen, these cost cutting measures.
Yeah, you have to, and it's one of the only ways they can really get around. Like if you have two studios with a lot of overhead and a lot of employees, and
Mm.
now they're demanding more wages or better deals, more incentives.
You're locked in
Well,
for years, an escalating contract of paying more and more and more and more now.
yeah, so now you fold these two together, and even if you lay off 30% of the workforce, it's still cost savings measure plus new company, new merger. So maybe we're gonna have to renegotiate contracts. I don't know
Mm.
how that would go over, but
Yeah. So
yeah,
again, like
that's a good point.
my source, again, I can't talk more about it, but my source, who is not close to this conversation, they're not an executive, but they were skittish. They didn't seem to think this was that real. And if it was, it would take a very long time. Hey, before we head over to the Patreon, we got a bunch of fun stuff we're doing there. I did want to talk a little bit about this because another thing happened today. In the past few weeks, we had talked a little bit about some of the sexual assault allegations that seem to be happening, sort of resurfacing for certain people. We missed some of the Puffy stuff, the Diddy. I don't is he Diddy now? He's always Puffy to me. Sean Puffy or P Diddy Combs. After his settlement, and there was more allegations. Also, the Will Smith bodyguard friend after who his wife there said they were going to sue, basically said you have 2 weeks to sue me, otherwise I'm going to start dropping some names. And then on top of all of this, guys, we have today Vin Diesel has been charged with a lawsuit for, I guess, sexual harassment from someone
Sexual
who is
battery.
sexual battery. Okay, not that harassment's not terrible. Battery seems a little bit worse than harassment, if not a lot worse. Um, like that he attempted to pull his underwear down to someone, to a woman that was working on, I guess, Fast Furious 5, maybe uh,
Yeah.
from
So
2010. Is that right?
yeah, 2010, Asta Johnson. Jesus Christ, I botched that one. Asta Johnson filed a lawsuit in Los Angeles Thursday alleging Diesel forced himself onto her in a hotel suite in Atlanta. Pulled
Oh boy,
allegedly a Weinstein move.
Weinstein. That's the Weinstein move.
Alleges she tried to escape from the room after being forced into Diesel's bed, but the actor moved toward her and then groped her breasts and kissed her chest.
Wow. Okay, so there's a lot of things going on here. This is the newest one.
Yeah, there's
But
more.
before I Gary, I want to say Merry Christmas to Gary Thorpe. He's over there in the UK. Merry Christmas to you. And Joe Punches, in case you're punching out there, Joe. Thank you for your support, Joe. Before we wrap up here, our last show, we'll have a show next year, but for being so wonderful to us, Joe, and thank you. And hopefully Tatum went to sleep, Joe. But in case you guys are jumping out of the chat, Shah,
Yeah.
between the Diddy, between the Will Smith, and now the Vin Diesel, this is, I mean, by the time we come back next week, it could be somebody else.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get more and more of this, and
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah,
best believe if there is one against Vin Diesel, there's gonna be more coming in the upcoming weeks, probably. It's not a good look for Diddy either. There's apparently a 17-year-old.
yes,
You know, that
yeah.
put
The
out
charges seem to be, yeah. It's
so his situation, he might actually just end up like, I don't want to put it out there, but he might end up doing some jail time, man. That dude, he's got caught up in a lot of allegations.
yeah. The Diddy allegations are getting pretty vocal.
Yeah.
They're getting, and it seems like Shah, if I'm not mistaken, they were already bad. We're going from bad to worse with these allegations with Diddy, right?
Yeah, he had to actually step down from Revolt TV also.
Yeah, which is a huge. I mean, he makes million. God knows. I mean, Revolt is a huge media company that he started, that he was the head of. He had to step down. This is looking a little bit like Russell Simmons, who's afraid to come back to the United States.
Yeah, no, seriously.
That's what this sounds like.
Speaking of Russell Simmons, he's got issues with Diddy going back to the early 2000s.
Yes. Oh, even before that, yeah.
And what was his wife's name? Kimora
Lee.
Kimora Russell?
Well, her name was Kimora Lee.
Yeah,
I think was before.
Her house burned down, and there's some allegations against Diddy with that too. And he had something to do with that.
Yeah, it's a wild time. Do you think Vin Diesel, when he tried to pull his underwear down with the woman, he said, "Look at my penis and say we're family"? Do you think so, Bisho? We're family.
I don't know. That's supposed to be pretty popular on Pornhub these days.
Yeah,
possibly.
Yeah.
And then he threw it into a car and jumped it off a building into the Grand Canyon.
What do you think about all this, Bisho? It does seem that it seems like we got away from these type of things for a long time, and now they're coming back again. These type of allegations. And by the way, a lot of these allegations, whether it's the Puffy, even the Vin Diesel, the Russell Simmons stuff, these are old allegations. Like, these are not things that happened on Tuesday. These are things that happened over a long period of time. Some of the Diddy stuff goes back, I think, to the early 2000s. The Russell Simmons stuff goes back, but that's been going on for a while. Now we have Vin Diesel. This is from almost 14 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's just momentum that one story gets out there and then, oh shit, I've got that going on and I've got that. And maybe it's that thing, watching true crime documentaries where sometimes the first who's offended against won't testify. And then something else happens. So then they come out, and they always say, you need to come out so other people feel safe to do so.
Yeah, which is very difficult to do.
Yeah. And maybe it's one of those things like, I don't know, like the Weinstein thing where once one comes out, it's going to be more, and then it's a big thing and a movement. Honestly, I think people got two things happen with not speaking out, whatever the Hollywood one was.
Time's
Me
Up.
Too.
Time's Up.
Oh, Time's Up. Time's Up.
Yeah, Time's Up.
I think Time's Up. I think people got sick of the news cycle. They got tired. They just exhausted themselves on it. And the second was when you had other people who were sticking up for them and claiming they were advocates. It just got really muddy, almost like the Black Lives Matter thing, where it seemed to have some national momentum, even with people who aren't into the scene.
Mhm.
And then like people started getting arrested for like stealing money from the company. So people check out and it loses attention.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
the
think that's
attention's
part of
back.
it.
The
Yeah. I
attention's
mean,
back. They
I
show.
think this, like, I take the Tom Hanks thing. It's like, this has always been around. It's always going to be around. So fuck it, man. Just hopefully
Yeah.
these
I mean,
guys go
look,
down.
and we're going to be very careful the next words I ask you here. Again, we know nothing about the Vin Diesel thing, but Shah, let me ask you a question. Your first reaction, again, this is allegedly guilty, not guilty. I know it's difficult to put you
I
on the spot.
mean,
Well, I'm going to do it too. I'm just.
it's like a coin flip. I don't know the guy at all personally, obviously, but he seems like a scumbag. I mean, I would probably say guilty. Kind of seems like a scumbag.
Yeah. I
He
mean, you wouldn't
reminds
be.
me.
You know what, Shah, let me rephrase that. Would you be surprised if this alleged allegation turns out to be true?
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
And again, this is just my personal opinion. Nothing is
Mhm.
factual, obviously. He reminds me of like a MGTOW guy. Do you know what MGTOW is?
No.
Men going their own way. It's like these like ultra like.
I've heard of that. Yes.
Yeah, he looks
I've
like one
heard
of
of
those
that.
dudes. You know.
We're family. Bisho, it's an alleged allegation. If this turns out to be, obviously, this woman went public today. This is going to be a big deal. If this is proven to be true, would you be shocked? That's really just the fairest way, I guess, to say it.
Not at all. And I hate to say this because it sounds classist, but like anytime someone who's like super rich and super powerful, so I'm not going to throw everybody who's rich under the bus, but like there's just there's a light on in their eyes that isn't like, it's not there. There's a light that's not on, and they operate differently. And like you see it with R. Kelly, you see it with Diddy at times. There's people that they're going their own way, they're doing their own thing, they don't
Like
care
what
about
Shah said.
anything else, and then they get a taste of that success.
Kanye,
Like Kanye, Bill Cosby. I mean, there's
Bill
so
Cosby.
many.
Well, not that what they did is the same thing. I'm just,
No, but like in Weinstein too,
behavior,
it's
but like this odd behavior, this above people behavior, this I can do what I want, say what I want.
Well, Cosby was the only one that actually surprised me.
That shocked me.
yeah.
I mean, that
Yeah,
shocked
like
the
I
world.
didn't expect
Nobody,
that.
nobody.
Yeah.
I love that there's this reframing of history. It's like a lot of people will say that about Cosby. Yeah, okay, who Hannibal Buress, who nobody fucking knew who the fuck he was, pretty much. Stop it. Like most people did not know this about Bill Cosby. Most people did
Mm-mm.
not.
In
The
fact, the
Harvey
only
Weinstein
thing that I
thing.
really heard about Cosby was when he told Richard Pryor not to cuss, and he said, "Have a Coke and smile and shut the fuck up," or
Yeah.
told Eddie Murphy not to cuss. But that was
I
it.
would like to say to you some of the things you said on the show. Um, look, I hope I don't like these things to be true. Somebody brought up the Jonathan Majors thing that just happened in New York. I mean, I don't want these. I don't want any. I don't want to think these things are true because they're horrible. And then I also think about the women who don't have the agency to sue a famous person who was sexually abused or harassed or raped, God forbid, by some fucking loser with nothing versus people who have everything and still can't act normal. So, like, and I'm not the Jonathan Majors thing, I really didn't pay a lot of attention to, which is why I don't talk about it that much. I just thought the Kang storyline was boring, and I'm just glad that it's not going to keep happening. I don't know necessarily. I'm surprised he was found guilty in New York, but I thought the future of this boring ass Kang storyline. I think Marvel wanted to get the fuck out of this storyline because of how bad Quantumania did and how bad the Marvels did, and they're looking to restructure. We had a whole thing from Variety on the highs and lows of Marvels, but I think we're just going to skip that for now because we want to get to Patreon. But listen, by the time we come back next week before the end of the year, I do think the floodgates are opening again. I wouldn't be surprised if we start hearing more details or more allegations against some of these people, like Puffy, what you said, Shah. Like it seems that the same people now there's more. It's not that there's a lot more people getting accused. There's more allegations against the same people, right, Shah? Like
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Well, don't forget about the guy from that '70s show. Remember, he got a bunch of
Danny
like 20
Masterson
years
took
or
a
some
long
shit.
time. Yeah, it took him a
Yeah.
long time to
Yeah,
get convicted. Yeah, and he's
but
going to prison for like 70 years.
yeah.
Yeah, he raped
So
multiple women.
anybody could get it, man. I mean, don't
Oh yeah, of course. It's a powers dynamic, I mean, it's a power dynamic. Harvey Weinstein, Puffy, even a Danny Masterson from that 70s show. One thing these people have in common, and of course R. Kelly and alleged Vin Diesel, whatever,
Trump.
Trump. Trump is I've been accused of similar behavior as well. quite a few people. A power. It's a power dynamic, and I just think most of us would never behave this way because we're not ill-savaged people, and we're not predatory people. But I don't know, B show. I feel like if I sold a song to a movie that I wrote from 20 years ago, and now I have a lot of money, I'm not going to become a worse human being. I'm going to become a more guarded, withdrawn human being.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about that too. It's like I wish there was people always talk about, someone once asked me, you podcast a lot and you've done videos, like, do you want to be famous? I'm like, fuck no, I don't want to be
Oh
famous. I
no,
just want to make money. Like, if I could find a way to do this,
and be
have our
left alone.
have our crowd, but have my personal life, then great. I would
Yeah.
hate to be like, think about, okay, Michael Jackson is an extreme case,
Well, yeah,
but Michael Jackson rented a grocery store and put like actors and staff in there to pretend there were people shopping
because he never
so we could
shopped a
have a
day in his
normal
life.
day.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want that.
Well, that's a unique experience. I mean, Elvis used to call car dealerships in the middle of the night so he could pick out cars because he couldn't go during the day. Like, it's just like, it's that kind of life. But I'm just talking about like, you just want to be able to go to the mall or drop your kids off at school. I sent my brother Mike this video a couple weeks ago of Justin Bieber coming home and all these girls in front of his house, like women. And like, he's got a baby, and I don't give a shit about Justin Bieber one or the other. But I felt me and my brother, and I was like, how uncomfortable are you watching? He goes, this is terrible. And he's literally saying, I live here with my child. My child lives here. Like, and the girl's like, Justin, can I just get a hug? And he's like, no, you understand I live here, right? This is my home. And I saw Taylor Swift in a documentary my kids are watching, leaving her apartment in Soho. Oh my God, I wouldn't wish this on anybody. Like, what the fucking fuck? So I don't know. Next week, for all we know, we could have another name in the hat or another allegation against Puffy or Vin Diesel or God knows who. The Epstein list is getting revealed apparently. So we'll have some bangers for the end of the year. But we're going to head over to Patreon. We have a bunch of trailers we want to talk about and some interesting stuff there. And again, Patreon people, program note. Next week, you'll be getting 2 shows. You'll be getting your last Patreon, which is your second one of the month, because B Show dropped a banger earlier this month. Did you not, B Show?
Yeah, I did a kind of a flaccid Q&A, asked for some topics that people were interested in, and turned out, I think, pretty good. I showed some of
Yes,
my nerd ass on some
I
of the
loved it.
music that I listened to.
I loved
But,
it. I thought it was great. I feel like we got to do this for our outfit.
oh, thank you.
So yeah, Patreon, you'll get that. We'll have a regular show on Thursday. And of course, we'll get right to our good friends. Who are we talking about? The plugs, the Deathmatch Outlaws, the Drew Yari Experience, Cassette Classics 86 on YouTube, down on the Thundercast. And of course, Don Tony. He's got a little guy named Kevin Castle. He's been joining him on those shows. Necromaniacs podcast today. Listen to their best of this year. I haven't listened to it yet, and I don't know the other people there's list, so I'm curious to check it out. In Human Experience Podcast, Ringsiders Wrestling on YouTube, they're back. Mojo and Dirk's most dastardly show, The Garden of Doom. And then we have the Old Guy Metalcast, funkbetty.com. Get yourself some new clothes for the new year, the new you at funkbetty.com. Shout out to our good friend, Mr. Ronald Anderson. MJW Games, Cherry Jesus on YouTube and his band Kaiser. You can download his album today. Red River Podcast, that's Sam. He's dropping a video. He's got new music, and he's going to interview me in a couple of weeks in the new year, it looks like. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to be talking a lot of shit on that interview with Sam about the music industry. And of course, his band Playing Dead. Bayou Geeks Fatty 316. I wanted to jump on his show. I was so out of it on edibles by the time they went to air. And I had warned him, even though I said, oh, maybe I can jump on. He goes, yeah, do it. I go, listen, that time, that's usually when I'm flying. And I was flying, so I couldn't get on the show. I said, listen, he asked me to go on the show, and I said, I can't see. The High Marks podcast, and of course, Midnight Mass Creature Cast. Weekly Detour to Anthony Alston and Teddy and the Guns and Geeks podcast. Shah, anything on Planet Mondo to wrap up the year?
Not until next year. I'm hoping to get back on track next year. So I don't want to make false promises. But yeah, go check it out, man. I have a back catalog. You can check out some. I have a top 50 disturbing movies. I have a top 10 my favorite Christmas movies, which is a good time to go check that out. So go scroll back. There's some content there for you.
Scroll back. And of course, hit that subscribe button for Planet Mondo. And of course, the B Show Brian channel. And of course, you want to hit it for Spitball Media. But B Show, I know you just dropped a high banger of a Patreon show. Anything on the B Show channel? You're holding off to the new year?
Probably new year, because I'm working on some other stuff work related right now, kind of building some other skills. So that's kind of taking up some time, but I want to start fresh in the new year and take the next couple of days to think about some stuff. So just go to bshowbrian.com, subscribe.
Sure.
And go through the catalog because there's a bunch of stuff there. There's commentary, there's reaction videos, there's some like mini documentaries that I did a while ago that people seem to like. So go check it out.
Yes, and hit that subscribe button. And again, thank you to the many people who have supported the show this year. Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat. We had a great bunch tonight from all over the globe, actually, which is kind of fucking cool. Thank you guys for that. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday week, and we'll see you next week to end 2023 in Spitball Media World. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa. I hope you had a great Hanukkah, or if it's just a regular time of the year for you, I hope you enjoy it and you are safe and warm. Have a great, great holiday season.
Peace.